Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya. As we continue with the theme of methods and training this week, today we explore another subtle dimension of spiritual development, which is refinement of sensitivity. Heartfulness training does not merely help us progress. It gradually makes us more responsive, more receptive, and more aligned with the finer movements of the heart. Spiritual growth is not only about rising to higher states, but about becoming capable of perceiving and responding to greater subtlety within. In the beginning of our practice, inner experience may feel indistinct calmness, quietness, or occasional stillness. But as training continues, perception becomes more refined. What once felt vague becomes clear. What once passed unnoticed becomes meaningful. Daji explains that the spiritual training gently refines our inner instrument. Just as a musical instrument must be tuned to produce pure sound, consciousness must be refined to perceive higher vibrations accurately. Without refinement, transmission may be received but not fully recognized. With refinement, even the most delicate inner movement is felt. This sensitivity is not emotional intensity, it is the clarity of perception. For an Abhyasi, refinement unfolds through consistent exposure to transmission and steady engagement with the methods. Meditation introduces subtlety, cleaning removes coarseness that dulls perception, and prayer deepens receptivity to higher guidance. Daily life provides opportunities to respond with increasing awareness. Gradually, sensitivity becomes integrated into living. We may notice quiet signs of refinement. Awareness of inner imbalance arises earlier than before. Silence feels textured rather than empty. Decisions are sensed inwardly before they are reasoned out. The heart recognizes peace not only in meditation but in ordinary movements. Training also teaches moderation. As sensitivity increases, the system learns to remain steady rather than reactive. Dear sisters and brothers, with this we move ahead in the session. And if these sessions support your steadiness and understanding, we warmly encourage you to share them with those who may benefit. You may introduce your near and dear ones to the master classes and the BHED sessions, where the foundational methods gently cultivate inner refinement from the very beginning. You'll find the additional reading material on this theme as well as videos of Revered Dhaji on the Heartfulness app under the Sunday tab dated 8th Feb. You can explore this material and we will now start our reading from the Heartfulness magazine titled Niyama that we started yesterday. Santosh. The second Niyama is Santosh. What is that most of us want in life? The commonest answer given by people of all walks of life and culture is that we want happiness and contentment. Such a state of contentment allows us to accept whatever situation may be in. We remain grateful to God. And what brings happiness? Perhaps it is a wonderful relationship, a great career, children whose lives are fulfilled, a comfortable lifestyle, and some peace and calm. But even if we tick all the other boxes, without inner peace, we will not be happy. Why? Because happiness is found within. Happiness does not actually depend on outside things or people. Although external circumstances can fortify the inner states, as long as we have the basics, no amount of money, pleasure, friends, success, or possessions will bring happiness. The philosopher Schopenhauer defined true happiness as the complete satisfaction of all desires. True happiness You could say that the happiness of a person can be described mathematically as happiness is equal to number of desires fulfilled divided by total number of desires. So, if we have 10 desires and 5 are fulfilled, we have 50% of happiness. If 10 are fulfilled, we have 100% happiness. The more desires we have, the harder it will be to fulfill them all. And so, the less happy we are. Happiness is inversely related to the number of desires. What happens when we have no desires at all? The denominator becomes zero. Any number divided by zero is indeterminate. When we have zero desires, our happiness will be limitless. By minimizing our desires from more to less and finally to zero, we make peace with ourselves. But is it possible to finally arrive at zero desires? Is it practical? Instead, we can try to fulfill our duties in the most appropriate manner, which then do not fall under the category of desires that become a burden. When we have zero desires, our happiness will be limitless. By minimizing our desires from more to less and finally to zero, we make peace with ourselves. And how can we remove desires? In heartfulness, this happens as a result of a complementary set of practices. Today, we learn to ignore the pull of thoughts during meditation so they no longer control us. Instead, we develop mastery over the thinking process, and that process deepens to where we all transcend the pull of feelings and emotions in the heart. Transmission provides the necessary support for this to happen. Second, we remove the underlying impressions or samskars that provide the hooks in our subconscious minds for our desires. And this is done through the daily cleaning practice. This is critical because many of our desires have a subconscious root that we cannot work with in our conscious mind. Cleaning removes the subconscious root. Third, at bedtime, we connect to our own source through a prayer in which we acknowledge the barrier caused by our wishes. Then we offer our hearts to that source, our inner divinity, to help remove our wishes. Instead of trying to remove desires with our low ego consciousness, we take the direct route of engaging our highest consciousness. Fourth, we have set up simple guidelines for living, known as the 10 maxims. They hold those spiritual secrets that have been previously been passed down from heart to heart. They have come from direct perception from the study of nature and are revealed by means of vibrations or shruti. Ramchandra of Shahjahanpur expressed them in words so that we can learn how to bring them into daily life. Fifth is that we allow the meditative state acquired during meditation to simmer in the background during the day, and this is known as constant remembrance. In this state, part of our attention remains inward and the remainder flows outward in order to complete our daily duties. In such a state, it is impossible to form impressions, so the state of purity can be maintained. Dear sisters and brothers, we will take the pause from the reading. Let us assimilate the meaning of these words that we have just read to settle in our hearts. And now let us, with lot of love in our hearts, offer the universal prayer together. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। May our hearts grow increasingly refined, able to recognize and respond to the subtlest moments of inner guidance. Dear sisters and brothers, as you prepare yourself for the rest tonight, take a few moments to offer the bedtime prayer and the reflection of the day. Offer the heart in quiet surrender to beloved Master, and let the bedtime prayer support continued refinement so that the sensitivity deepens naturally through the rest. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session, and we look forward to your presence for the morning session tomorrow at 6 a.m. Until then, wishing you all a very good night. Thank you.